Hey, this is Tish Griffin, and I am here today on behalf of Family Credit Management Services to talk with you all about finances, about budgeting, about dealing with your creditors, about any types of issues that you may have regarding your debt and your finances. And it is the holiday season, but I want you to know that Family Credit is still available during this season for you to use as a trusted resource. You can reach a counselor at 800-994-3328 or go online to the website at familycredit.org. Yes, use that website. Speak with a counselor. You can chat with a counselor directly on the website. You can get the advice that you need. You can get help for whatever your situation may be. So I want you to be aware, use Family Credit as a resource. Now, again, holidays are upon us. So what are we going to be talking about today? That's right, holiday debt and dealing with it. And I wanted to just jump right in because when you're thinking about holiday debt, and we all have been thinking about, well, the rates are going to be going down, so everything should be better. We should be able to get better deals. And sometimes we realize that even though things like that may happen or they're supposed to happen, it may or may not affect us in the way that we hope. So we've got to do the work ourselves and make sure that we are okay. Yes, that's what this is about, making sure that you are financially fit and stable during the holiday seasons. So the Fed, we were all looking forward to the last meeting of the year for the Fed and just hoping that they would cut the interest rates. Everyone wants a dramatic and drastic interest rate cut, but we got a quarter point for interest rate reduction. Now, what that also means, though, is that moving into the new year, we will not be experiencing as many rate cuts as we would have liked to see. So we've got to prepare for that. We've got to be ready for that, which means that whatever we're doing now, or if we're able to maintain now, we may want to do it at that same level, just keep that going, or we might have to do a little bit more work and put some more work in so that our budget is stable and that we're able to deal with things. Again, go online at Family Credit's website at familycredit.org. We've got some great budgeting guides, some great tips, some great things that you can do to save money. And when we're thinking about the holiday debt and how we're going to handle things, we know that with dealing with the holidays, a lot of times we put gift giving first. We think about those things that we want to get our family members, our friends, those that are around us and important to us. And sometimes that can be a really stressful and draining thing. A lot of times it plays on our mental ability, our mental capabilities. And sometimes, again, it's just a lot of stress that we go through. But I want you to just know that you're not alone with dealing with this. A lot of us feel the same way about dealing with the holidays, the stress, the money, the shopping, the buying, what we can't buy, looking at what we want, what we can't have. So we want to make sure that we take a moment to just step back and say, you know what? Holidays come every now and then, but we need our budget to be able to live, to maintain, and to do what we need to do, okay? So first thing we want to do is think about if we are looking at spending or we're trying to buy things for the holidays or even recover after buying. Another step we have to go through. We want to sit down and take a look at our budget now and plan for what it is that we're trying to do during the holiday seasons and afterwards. So if we know that there's a certain people that we want to buy for, we may want to look at our budget and see how much discretionary income we have left. And with discretionary income, what that just is the money after you paid all of your bills, you've got everything together. That's the amount that we should be looking at if we need something extra. If we're looking at gift giving, if we're looking at, spending extra on food or going out, we want to look at that number, meaning that we want to have our bills all accounted for and all paid for before we can even look at doing something for someone else. That's where the discipline comes in. We still want to make sure that during this season that we're still able to take care of home and that we have things all together. So, of course, we want to make sure that we're looking at our income, we're looking at our bills and going over them and knowing what it is that we have to pay for, making sure we've got all of that accounted for. So, also, a lot of times people think about, well, holiday seasons. That means that my job is going to give me a bonus. And for a lot of us, when we do get those bonuses for the holidays, for Christmas, for upcoming New Year's, profit sharing, whatever it may be, the extra funds, we want to make sure that you don't blow that either, that you're able to take that and put that into your savings, and that you're able to save more because of it. Not use it all up on the holidays, and now we're wondering, okay, what are we going to do for the rest of the year? So we want to make sure that we've got that going. And we're thinking about this while we're developing our budget. So yes, we do need to sit down in the course of our year and develop a holiday budget. I highly recommend that if you are really, really concerned about the holidays and gift giving, make sure you have your money for it, making sure you have everything that you need, knowing who you want to buy for, then you do need to sit down at the beginning of the year and even start getting that together ASAP. So you may say, well, it's December, it's too late, but this is what I wanted to do. I wasn't able to do it, or I shorted myself. We don't want to see that happening. I don't want to see you taking from your everyday bills, from your utility bills. You can't pay your gas and your light bill because you went out and bought presents. So that's why, beginning with the new year, we want to start thinking about that. Let's set up a holiday budget. We can include our birthdays, special occasions, the people that we love most in that, and set up different amounts that we can put towards this savings. Now think about it this way. Let's say you save $20 a month, or you can even say $20 a paycheck, and that goes into this special account for your holidays. Again, it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. It could be birthdays, for celebrating Independence Day, whatever holidays you want to celebrate, and put extra money towards. And that way you can take this $10, $20, whatever you set aside, and put that into that account and just let it sit there. Every single month you're building onto it. But at the same time, we've got to have a plan for our money. We always talk about, with budgeting, it does not work unless you have your goals, unless you have your plan, unless you know what the purpose is of all of your planning. So we know that for this aspect of it, you're putting together your holiday budget. And you may say $10, $20 a month, and you save that, and that's the money that you allow yourself for the holidays. And you may say, well, that's just a couple of $100. But keep in mind, you don't have to stress about it. You already know how much you have to work with. You're not trying to run around and make anything extra up, and it's all set for you. And even keeping with that, you can put extra money towards it, and you can establish that fund throughout the year so that when it comes down to now, you're not panicking. But right now, we know you're in the middle of everything. You may be panicking. So we want to take a step back and see what you can do now. Looking at your budget now, you want to see how much money can you get by with for the holidays. We don't want to go crazy. Now, a lot of times what we're looking at is that with the holiday seasons upon us, we see really great deals out there. And we may see that they are discounting a lot of the things that we're looking at during the year. We may have that special coat that's now on sale. We may want some shoes that's now on sale. We want to buy for our children. And so we want to sit down and say, okay, what am I allowing, or what am I okay with and allowing my kids to do? Who am I going to buy for? Am I going to buy for everyone? What amount will I set aside for each person? Now, a lot of families have a great idea when they do the white elephant or the grab bag. You're looking at buying a gift, maybe $20, $25 max, and you put that cap on it. That's something that's minimal to your budget. You should be able to be okay. And if you're setting that standard, you know you're only buying for one person. So keep that in mind as well when you're thinking about what you should do for the holidays. Let's look at setting some new traditions for our family, starting with something like that. Another thing that a lot of families are coming across and experiencing, of course, I've always been big on this, is making memories during the holidays. Let's not concentrate on the gifts or giving of gifts, but let's concentrate on the memories that we can make as a family. So we see that a lot more families are coming back now with game days for the holidays. There's different games that you play as a family that will allow you to enjoy that time. You're spending less money. You're not spending a whole lot on gifts, and you're making use of things that are within the home or that everyone that can contribute, that's not a whole lot of money. $5 here and there, and then you go out and make games out of paper cups, plates, little things that you can do. And you have a great, great experience with your family. Those are some ways that you can keep your family traditions, make new traditions, and make it more fun, entertaining, and everyone is engulfed. There's also different board games and card games that can be played as a family, which will allow us to save on some family fun. And also think about what are some other ways that we can do or have family fun as well. Think about this. There's always tales that are going around, different books that you can read as a family for Christmas. You may pour some hot chocolate, which is not that expensive to do, and read stories together. Other family traditions that you can sit down and establish that we haven't even thought about. But these are great ways to save money so that you're not stuck on shopping so much, spending your money, trying to buy things when you don't really have it. And that's the key right now, especially gearing up for next year. We don't know what the new year will bring. And so we want to make sure that we're cautious and that we're thinking about it and that we're trying to save as much as possible. That's going to be our goal for the upcoming year. Put whatever you can into savings. Let's work on getting out of debt and then saving what we can. With the holiday debts upon us, there's another thing that we want to think about too. After the holidays clear, how are we going to pay for this all? A lot of times people jump in and they think about the holidays and they're out there shopping, racking up, maxing out credit cards. Some people are getting loans for certain projects or certain presents for people. So you want to think about that too. Hey, after all of this is over, what can I do? Let's look at some methods for repaying that debt or paying down the debt. First off, I want to caution you away from those buy now, pay later options that are out there, because a lot of times those come with higher debts, higher payments, and we're not even thinking about the interest that we're putting into them because we're thinking, okay, if I can split this payment up, then I'll be fine. But it's actually costing you more in the long run. If you were to take that same item and just save for it for a couple of months, then you'd probably be better off and you'd have more in savings. So let's think about this. Now that we've got all of this debt, we're dealing with collection agencies, we've got our credit cards, what can we do to actually get somewhere? You can reach out to a counselor at familycredit.org, go online to the website familycredit.org, or call 800-994-3328. We're going to talk about some ways that you can look at paying off this holiday debt, but I do want you to use Family Credit as a resource because guess what? They're there. They go through this all the time. They know what you're going through, and they can help steer you towards it. Now, we want to think about paying off this holiday debt, right? First thing we want to do is look at how much debt we have. Make a list. Go through all of your credit cards. Look at your credit card statements, the due dates, the amounts, the balances. Write all of that down. And you may say, well, I can see it right there. It's on the screen. But let me tell you, there's nothing like writing down what it is that you're looking at, because that helps you put it in your mind. That helps you remember it. That helps you concentrate and be able to focus on it. And it helps you discipline yourself better because now you're actually being able to look at it. And you're like, oh my God, as I'm writing this down, okay, I've got this balance. I've got 5,000 here, 1,000 there. And you're sitting and you're looking at it and you're going through it and you're like, wow, this is a lot. But don't be discouraged, but you need to know what it is. So after you have all of that written down, I want you to look at your balances. Then let's look at what your minimum payment amounts are. Now keep in mind, if you were paying your minimum payments each and every single month on your credit card bills, we know that's going to take you 20, maybe even 30 years longer to get out from under that debt. You may have a $500 credit card, but if you are paying a minimum payment of $10 a month or $20 a month, and your interest that you're being charged, which is the next thing we're going to look at, is higher than that or is as much as that payment, you're never going to get out of debt. So after you write down your minimum payment, next thing I want you to look at is your monthly finance charge right now. Go to the bottom of the statement. There's a little calculator at the bottom that says your interest. You'll see your average interest rate, and you'll see that there it may say something like could be 10%, could be 6%, but for some people, especially if you have a newer credit card, you're probably looking at 27% to 35% interest. And you might say it doesn't seem like that much if you got a $200 credit card, but when you think about it, it kind of is. Keep in mind, as your balances get higher, the more money you're going to be paying in interest. And I want you to look at the actual finance charge that you're being charged, not the interest rate. Yes, interest rate is important, but you want to see what number does that come out to be. So you're looking at your finance charges that you get each and every single month. And when you write that down and you see, wow, I may have a $200 credit card balance. I may be paying them $15 a month, but when I look at my finance charges, that interest rate, my monthly interest that they're charging me is $20 a month. So that's why I want you to look at that, because now you can see how much of your money is actually going towards paying down this debt, because the goal is to get out from under the debt. We want that debt gone. So if you have a minimum payment of $15 and your finance charges of $20 a month, you will never get out of debt. So you want to say, okay, I've got this down. I'm looking at my finance charges. Now I know what my minimum needs to be increased to cover. And we want to see how much money is left over in your budget that you feel you can comfortably put towards this. After you made all of your minimum payments, if you're looking at this and we're planning it out, say, okay, these are my minimum payments. My monthly payments that I need to send out is $300 a month. Total up everything, $300 is my minimum. But I want to get out from under debt. So maybe, just maybe, I can add an extra $100 to this. So we want to make sure that you're making your minimum payments on everything. Take one account. Take one account. Either you can do the account with the highest interest rate or the account with the lowest balance. And you want to take that extra $100 and put it on that. So if you got a $200 account and you're paying them $15 a month, we're going to add that extra $100 for the next 2 months. First month, you're going to send them $115. That's right. We're really trying to get this debt down, right? You're paying off that $200 balance, paying them $115. Now you don't have that huge of a balance. But next month, with that same $115 payment, guess what? You're going to pay it off. And you're going to have some extra left over. Yes, you're going to pay this account off. We're going to leave that account open, but you're going to pay that debt off. You're going to take that money. And now with this $115, because you paid that account off, now you got the 15, you got the 100 and the 15, you got the extra from this month. And you're going to take that and put it on the next account. That's right. We're going to snowball this baby and get this debt under control. Because by doing that, you're allowing yourself to pay this debt off at a quicker time frame. And you're watching it. Still keep in mind, every couple of months, you want to look at the amount that your finance charges, what you're being charged. And we're going to do this through the whole year. You're going to sit down, you're going to look at that. You're going to look at the actual finance charges that you're being paid and the amount that you're paying towards it. And we're going to get that debt paid off. That's right. That's how you're dealing with your holiday debt. You're going to throw whatever you can towards it so that we can bring that down. Now, you may say, I don't have $100 extra to put towards it. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you have is going to help bring that down. So we're looking at paying this debt off, and it's happening. The key to it, though, is as this is happening, this is really having a positive effect on your credit, because your credit utilization is going down. You're not using that much credit. You're making your payments on time. They're on-time payments. They're more than your minimum payments. So even when you are struggling to make your minimum payments each and every single month, they may or may not have hit on time. That may have been a factor for you. But guess what? Now we're strengthening it because we've got that extra going towards it. It's over what our minimum payment is, and we're paying that. Keep in mind, when debt, years ago, when you're making your payments, your due date was every 30 days. Not the case anymore. Someone's due date can be every 28 days. And for some creditors, they even have due dates every 22 days. Keep that in mind. So you may say, well, my due dates tend to change all the time, and I keep trying to pay it and I end up paying late and I don't know why. Then I get a late fee. That's all part of their plan for you to pay out more each and every single month. But when you're making more than the minimum payment, guess what? They can't get you. You keep doing that until you're getting that balance down to a zero. And you start to see those balances really decrease. You'll start seeing that happen for you. You'll start seeing those balances go down. And that's what you want for this holiday season going into the new year. Let's look at a plan that's going to get your debts paid down, get you paid off a lot sooner. And that way your stress level, you don't have to worry about it because you already got that plan. You're working on it. You're being diligent. You're paying it no matter what. And that's going to get that debt paid off. Then after the second account, you keep doing that. As to where if you're making your minimum payments, it's taking you 20 and 30 years to pay that debt off because you're making your minimum payments. When you do it this way, guess what? You are looking at paying off this debt within 3 to 5 years or less. That's like what? 15-year reduction off of that? Yes, you can actually do this. You can get it done. You can get that out from under that debt and not even have to worry about it. And the best thing is that you're able to do it yourself. Now, you may say, well, I don't have the discipline for that. I don't like dealing with my creditors. I can't keep track of it. I need just one place to pay. I need to make one payment and then get the help and get the rates down, get those balances down. You can do that. If you are looking for help or assistance with trying this method, trying to see if this will work for you, you can't do it on your own, but you need just a little bit of help. That's what the counselors are on standby for. That's what they're there to help you with. You can reach out to a counselor, again, familycredit.org. You can go online, pull up that website and get the help that you need. Use the counselors as a resource. You can figure out what creditors will work for you. You can figure out who can help you by reducing the interest rate, who won't charge fees. And yes, they can help go through your options for you. So that's the best part about being able to use Family Credit as a resource. Again, if you're looking at getting this debt paid off, that's the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your family. Last thing you want to do is carry this debt over into the new year and not have a plan on how you're going to get it all together. And we may say, well, I'm not worried about it. I'll just pay it when I can. Or a lot of times we think that we can pay stuff. Does it really happen? Be honest. Be honest. We all struggle with this. And so this is a way, using this method of targeting one creditor at a time, one loan, one credit card to get that paid down. That is one of the best things that you can do for your finances. Now, again, after you got those debts, you're starting to get them paid off. Now we want to think about keeping our credit strong because guess what? Your credit should have boosted a lot by you doing this method. And you want to keep your credit in good standing. How do you do that? Making sure that you're making on-time payments and making sure that you're staying within the parameters of your credit. Meaning that if you've got a $500 account, we do not want to use more than $500. We don't want that to ever go over. We don't want to be subjected to other fees because we're trying to get out of debt. We want to make sure that we're working towards rebuilding, towards keeping our finances together and keeping things strong. And we want to make sure we keep these accounts in good standing and open. That's why we do need to keep them open. Now, some people go back and forth and say, well, I'm not using this account, so I want to close it. I'm not using it, so I don't need it. I don't want it there. But keep in mind, if you have an account, and for the most part, you know the creditor, you've dealt with the creditor, things are going well on it, you just don't want to have that extra burden of having that account out there, my suggestion would be to keep that account in good standing. Keep using it as often as you need to, but try not to use it that much. So let's say you want to maybe make one purchase every few months, every 3 to 6 months. It does not have to be anything major, doesn't have to be anything big. But yes, you just want to make a small purchase, keep that going and keep the account open. That's the thing. We want to keep the account open and in good standing. A lot of creditors, if you don't use the accounts nowadays, they will close the account if you've not used it within 3 to 6 months. So that's why you want to make a small purchase. Go out, grab some socks, and then pay that off next month. That's all you need to do. But when dealing with this holiday debt, you do not need to be stressed out. Don't let it stress you out. There's help out there. You can reach out to a counselor at 800-994-3328 or go online to familycredit.org. Speak with a counselor. Get the help that you need. Okay, so happy holidays again. Take care, and we will see you all again for the next show.